Is masturbation healthy? When you ask a doctor, they'll tell you masturbation is completely fine. However, the answer depends on what you expect from a healthy life. Is waking up tired every day, often feeling lethargic, and going through your day without any desire healthy? It's fine for them because you'll wonder what's wrong with you, and doctors would love to prescribe antidepressants, so the pharmaceutical companies keep getting richer. At the end of the day, who wouldn't want lifelong customers? When you ask your friends, they'll tell you, "Are you crazy? Of course you should do it regularly." But when you look at them, you will see none of them are actually winners in life. How can you know what they tell you is the truth then? Have you ever wondered why you never had that mental energy, creativity and high productivity levels? Most people do. They search for the answers everywhere, yet they never find them until they stop touching their genitals. Do you know why famous athletes, artists and scientists preserve their semen? Shakespeare, Newton, Edison, Mike Tyson and Muhammad Ali are some of the famous ones I know. With a little bit of search you can find many of those. Let me tell you why. Because your semen is such a powerful life force. Think about it. How do you make a child? The semen needs to fertilize the egg. So it needs to contain such a vital energy to create a child. The energy does not come out of nowhere. Your semen is your creative vital energy. Masturbation addiction is a soul killer because it constantly deprives you of your vitality. It makes you waste this precious life force all the time. Why do we masturbate and become addicted to it? There is no way to quit an addiction without understanding the actual reason behind it. When you understand it, your actions will follow up naturally. No-fap marathons, magical apps, motivational videos or thousands of articles you read won't give you the results if your mind is weak, because addictions are the result of a weak mind. Something in your system must be messed up, so you try to fill the gap in such a self-sabotaging way. The first step is to be aware of it, the second step is to fully understand it, and the final step, which is to solve the problem from the root, will come naturally afterward. I could give you some quick practical tips, but it would never work in the long term because curing the symptoms is never the solution. Once your system is sick, your brain will always go back to applying the old patterns. So let's first understand why porn and masturbation addiction happens. To make sure their genes continue to survive in the best possible way, men are naturally attracted to physically beautiful females. So the brain of a man is hardwired to find women with the best genes. A healthy man would feel sexual arousal when he sees a hot woman without even knowing her personality. So what's wrong with that? Nothing. This is how the game of life continues because humans want to reproduce. The problem starts with the internet and pornography. It is too hard to manage such a powerful instinct in the digital age. Our brains cannot separate the virtual from the real. When you watch porn and jerk off, your brain thinks your semen has been used for a very good purpose. It thinks that you just fertilized a very healthy and beautiful lady. Also, ejaculation gives an intense hormonal release and it fucks up the natural reward mechanism. The body releases all beneficial hormones and it makes you feel good for a short time. And this is how the main addiction cycle is set up. To feel the same intense arousal, you want more and more. The brain completely ignores where the stimulus comes from and it programs you to live in a virtual world where all kinds of women search for your pleasure. Though you're a superhero in your dream who can fertilize any type of woman regardless of age, ethnicity and race. But in real life, women are nowhere near close to what you see in porn. They don't even look attractive to you anymore. They seem less attractive, but they are also harder to reach. You cannot have sex with them by clicking a button. This confuses your brain even more and it leads you to start questioning yourself. On the one side, you have unlimited amount of fantasy where you can do anything. On the other hand, there is a reality that you don't care much, because you can reach a lot more in the virtual world. In this situation, why would you bother to impress those less attractive ladies in real life? Why would you choose the hard path while you can have unlimited amount of treasure on the internet? It's not the only dating part of your life that gets crushed. Your whole life gets huge damage from this because we are talking about the reward system of your brain. Dopamine is a common factor in all addictions. Here we define dopamine first. Dopamine is one of the main neurotransmitters in the brain. It's most commonly recognized for its role in reward, motivation and pleasure, but also plays a crucial part in modulating focus, motivation, cognitive flexibility and emotional resilience. In addition to these creative productive capacities and states, dopamine is one of the main regulators of motor control and coordination of body movements. Masturbation is addictive because it causes a huge dopamine rush in the brain. When you look at addictive activities such as cigarettes, drugs, alcohol, sugar, fast food, etc., they all cause a high dosage of dopamine production. Oh, that must be perfect then. We should feel super happy after a strong dopamine spike, right? Well, that's not how the brain works because there are also dopamine receptors. Yes, when we do any activity, our brain produces dopamine, but only when these dopamines band together with dopamine receptors, we do feel happy. If you go through some hardship and scarcity, there will be less dopamine in our system, so our brain produces more dopamine receptors to use them efficiently. However, in the opposite situation, when there is a lot of dopamine available in the system, the brain thinks that it's the time of abundance and it starts decreasing the number of receptors. That's why addictions desensitize, because the price of fewer dopamine receptors is being insensible to everything you do. The fewer dopamine receptors you have, the less chance of feeling satisfied and happy in general. When you overdose your system with dopamine rush through addictions, the things that give you pleasure suddenly becomes too boring. The food doesn't taste good, the social interactions don't make sense, you feel boring all the time, and that leads to cravings because the brain wants to quit dopamine from your addictions. You hear people all the time say, "I can't concentrate if I don't smoke," or blah blah. I had friends who could not study if they didn't masturbate before, and you cannot start to produce dopamine receptors right away. It takes weeks and months of abstaining. That's what our ancestors discovered back then with fasting. Almost in all religions, there's a sort of fasting tradition, and that's not a coincidence because people discovered that abstaining from pleasures for a certain period of time leads to ultimate happiness and overall health. Also, let me ask you this, why is porn free? The porn industry was serving for upper class before the invention of TV. After the invention of the internet, it spread out the whole world. But wait, why is it free? Why does it have such an easy access unlike other dopamine resources like drugs, cigarettes and alcohol? Because its margin of profit is too damn high. You can have billions of people who are willing to lose their sexual energy by making it free. They lose their life energy, creativity, vitality, health and all willingly. There you have billions of mindless consumers. What else can they ask more? They are willing to become lifetime slaves because they will be guided by their hormones rather than their logical minds. If they feel something wrong with their situation, they'll go to the dear doctor who is another slave of the pharmaceutical industry. "You're fine, just take these pills," they will say. Why the hell millions of young men and women are addicted to drugs? Why are they dealing with modern day diseases? Most people walk like zombies on the street. They need drugs, lots of caffeine and sugar just to open their eyes in the morning. They need some sort of pills to make them feel good. They let their most precious life energy go away and desperately look for a pill to take care of everything. Hence, they will never be able to cure their problem until they realize this. Antidepressants are designed to increase the levels and activity of dopamine in the brain. What a coincidence, right? When the addict took the drug, it gives the brain the signals that everything is okay. But the real cause of the problem will still be there. You can support dopamine production by external supplementation, but masturbation addiction will sap it away as long as you keep doing it. What are the harmful effects of masturbation addiction? Lack of energy, depression and anxiety, less self-esteem, boredom, pain in the body, mainly in the lower back, excessive fear, premature ejaculation, skin issues, hair loss, early aging, memory loss. And what are the benefits of quitting masturbation? Your courage and confidence increases, increased cognitive function, your mind becomes more clear and you think better in general, better memory, better flexibility, increase in patience, you become more stoic rather than chasing momentary pleasures, you focus on developing long-term goals that will actually make you happier, decrease in anxiety. Small things do not bother you as much as before, you can focus on what's important easier, better skin, better decision making, the list goes on and on. There are many success stories on the internet where people tell how their life improved after their no-fap marathon. Staying abstinent for a while in order to normalize your brain is a great way to start. Well, let's make this clear. You won't turn into Tesla or Newton when you stop masturbating. You won't become next Mike Tyson or Muhammad Ali if you're boxing. It's harmful to put too much hope on this issue like this. You will still be you, but everything will be better equipped to tackle your problems. Still, you have to be able to monetize this life energy you gained. An idle mind is the devil's workshop. Think of it. When does the masturbation urge come often? Mostly while surfing on the internet aimlessly. When you quit a bad habit, you should fill its gap with a healthy one. otherwise it would be an uphill battle. You can't expect to not masturbate when you're looking at hot chicks on the internet all day. On the other hand, once you're busy with building your own legacy, you will never bother to think of porn because you will already have plenty of healthy habits. At the end of the day, it's always your life and your choice, so choose wisely. Thank you for watching. If you want to support the channel, please leave a like and subscribe. See you in the next video.